Hey there, America! This is Ben Goldman, host of the Ben Goldman Show, and I'm coming to you July 26, 2019, here to read you the news. Today, we're covering France, which is trying to tax U.S. companies on their revenue to make extra money, not even calling it a tariff, as well as New York City, which has gone to heck since Bill DeBlasio takes over. People are extremely unhappy with him, and it's absolutely insane what he's been doing to the cops recently, if you haven't heard, as well as House Judiciary Chairman Jerry Nadler is trying to impeach the president off the Mueller thing. Crazy, absolutely crazy. And our 2-minute takedown today will be about Nancy Pelosi and AOC and what they really think of each other. All right, let's start off with France. So France declared a brand new tax on U.S. technology companies where they have to pay France on their revenue. That's right, they're trying to take our company's revenue that we're not even getting right now and put it in their own pockets. Absolutely insane. The new tax would be 3% on the annual revenue of U.S. tech companies that operate within France, despite the fact that those aren't French companies. It's horrible. That's our money. We should be getting it. We're not getting enough of it right now, honestly, because those tech companies get out of everything. Considering how biased and horrible they are, it's sick. But that's the reality. Well, luckily for us, President Trump wasn't having any of that. He shot back a tweet almost immediately saying that we will respond not just in kind, but bigger. We're going to respond bigger. How are we going to do it? We're taking down French wine. That's right. Trump said at the end of his tweet, hey, I like American wine better than French wine anyways, and that's one of France's biggest exports to the United States. It's going to hurt them, but it should, because they're trying to steal our company's income when we're not even getting it. Yeah, we need to do something to get it. We need to quit letting these tech companies act like they're business gods and have no real rules to follow. But that's our money. It's our money. It should be our money. And we're going to get it. Thank you, Trump, for actually standing up for America. Hopefully Congress can now kick into gear and make sure these tech companies quit getting all their crazy privileges when they won't even respect our Constitution. It's sad. It's gross. Amazon has killed a lot of Amazon has killed a lot of retail business. Facebook has an absolute monopoly on social media. Gmail owns all of the email in the country right now. So these companies have too many privileges. Thank God Trump's trying to stand up at Congress. I'm calling you right now, act. Put these companies in their place. Make sure they understand that they don't get protected by the government. They're treated equally, and our markets can stay free and fair, because that's what America's about. All right, so next up, let's hit New York City. Everyone loves New York City, right? Well, old Mayor Bill DeBlasio, I guess now presidential candidate Bill DeBlasio, said that he's going to ban President Trump from New York City, his own city. You can't do that, Bill. First of all, it's an American city and he's a president. He has every right to go there. And the second, no one likes you, Bill. The Democrats don't like you. New Yorkers say they're not going to vote for you. I don't even know why you're still around. You're one of the most hated, unsuccessful mayors in the history of the United States. And you know what's proof of it? What you just did to police officers. If you guys haven't seen, there's a new craze on the internet where people put out videos. They put out videos of themselves attacking police officers with water guns and water buckets, spraying them while they're walking around in uniform. It's horrible.
Oh my God, they came over here to talk to them that they violated. Yo, they violated them.
And you know what Bill DeBlasio did when he saw that? Not a darn thing. People around the country are furious over it. They're saying the guy is one of the biggest idiots they've ever seen in mayoral office. It's sick. You can look at the internet. It's all over the place. No one likes Bill DeBlasio because he doesn't represent cops. He doesn't. President Trump, thank God again, came out and called out Bill DeBlasio on Twitter. He said that it's not only is it disgraceful, but it is disgusting that he is not willing to stand up for the people that put their lives on their line, not just for the country, but for his own city, for de Blasio's own city. It's gross. It's sad. That's New York for you. That's what it's become. This is why it's a crazy liberal place that is losing all of its values, will probably lose its ability to do business because of their taxes. It's nuts. Bill de Blasio, you haven't helped a darn thing. all you've done is feuded with AOC and President Trump. And you know what? Despite the fact that both of them are controversial, no one that dislikes either of them likes you, Bill. You can look online. It's everywhere. America said it. America spoken. So, next up, let's cover House Judiciary Chairman Jerry Nadler. Yep, old Jerry put all of his cards in one basket, and that was the Mueller basket. Jerry thought that when he brought Mueller on to testify, it was going to lock down impeachment. It was going to impeach Trump. It was going to prove that there was collusion. It was going to prove that there was obstruction. But you know what it proved? Nothing other than the fact that Mueller had no idea what was going on in his own report. It sounded like he had never heard his own report before. Well, that put Mr. Nadler's back against the wall. And you know what he did? He decided to move on an impeachment inquiry. And you know what his justification was? The bombshell Mueller report.
In a remarkable exchange with Mr. Liu, that but for the Department of Justice policy from prohibiting from doing so, he would have indicted President Trump.
What bombshell? I saw it. I watched all 8 hours of it. You guys probably saw my little 8 hours and 10-minute video. If you haven't yet, I highly recommend it. But Mueller looked like a fool. Nadler looked like a fool for pushing him so hard. Schiff looked like a fool too. But this one's about old Jerry, because Jerry's using this to justify his impeachment. It's never going to work, Jerry. It's never going to work. First of all, impeachment typically fails against a president. Not just that, it's expensive, and your Democrats have already spent $25 million on the Mueller report, which wasn't enough for you. Now you want to talk to grand jury people? You can't do that. That's against the rules, but also, you failed. You shouldn't have put all your time and effort into it. Maybe if you had invested in something more proactive, you would actually be able to get votes in 2020. But way to go, Mr. Nadler. You're helping Trump out a lot. In case you guys aren't aware, two very significant impeachment trials that went on, Bill Clinton and Andrew Jackson, because they were based on such little potential damage to the country, and because people liked both of them so much at the time, not only did they fail, but they boosted the approval ratings of both of those presidents coming into their next election cycle. So the reality is, Mr. Nadler, is you're about to get Trump elected, and you know what? I'm going to thank you for it. Thanks, Jerry. Thanks, Congressman Jerry Nadler. You are getting Donald Trump in office again. Maybe you should be the head of the Trump 2020 campaign, because that's all you, buddy. All right. So now it's time for our 2-minute takedown. You know who we're targeting today, folks? Pelosi and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. You see, Pelosi and AOC, they went and had a meeting today. A unity meeting where they were supposed to get together and bury the hatchet, which Pelosi claims there was never a hatchet. What kind of delusional world is she living in? First of all, obviously there's a hatchet between you guys. I mean, come on. You sat there and, Alexandria Cortez essentially called you a racist after you said that her following was worthless. You called her following and her followers worthless, Nancy. What was it you said, Nancy? All these people with their public whatever and Twitter world, but they didn't have any following. They're just 4 votes, and they're just 4 people, and that's how many votes they get. That's a little disrespectful, Nancy. And you know what Alexandria Cortez said to you in response? She said that you were disrespecting and singling out newly elected women of color. That's right, Nancy. Alexandria Cortez called you a straight-up racist. And even after your little meeting today, which you said, Nancy said, went phenomenally, Alexandria Cortez basically said, oh, it's a good start. It's a good start, but she's not happy with you, and she won't be happy with you. You're subjecting yourselves. You're bowing down to Democrat socialists. This is why no one respects you anymore, Nancy Pelosi. This is why you can't lead your party anymore. It's terrible. Not only that, but you picked a big fight with Alexandria Cortez. You went after her chief of staff because he was criticizing other Democrats, and you're leading an effort to redistrict Alexandria Cortez's congressional district so that you can get her out. You're gerrymandering a Democrat out of her own district. You brought him in You gave them good positions. You brought Democrat socialists into the main fold, Nancy Pelosi. This is your fault, your bed, you lie in it. The reality is the Democrat Party and the DNC are crumbling right now under the weight of socialism, which they adopted and brought it into the American public. And you know what? I hope that I think most people hopes they collapse. Most of the world hopes they collapse because America is not socialist. Thank you guys so much. It was great seeing you. Hopefully you can tune in again next week. Remember to follow me on Facebook at Ben Goldman Show, on Twitter at RealDannyGold, or on Podbean at bengoldman.podbean.com. Look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow, and thanks again for tuning in.